give it a little bit of time. This is a very specific reading, so give some time for those who it's not for. This collective, I feel so like giggly, very giggly when it comes to this connection. I picked up some energy the other day, but I wasn't in a place where I could record, so now I am, and we're gonna get into it. So one of the biggest things that I was picking up when it came to this connection is either ADHD, like ADHD itself, or simply just a level of distractions that are causing some slow, like there's a level of steadiness when it comes to this relationship, but it's slow. It's very, very slow. There's a lot of anxiety around this connection. Beetlejuice may also be significant for some reason. I don't know, I just picked up Beetlejuice. Oh my gosh, I was going to wear my Beetlejuice earrings for this reading too when I did it. They're actually right in front of me. My Beetlejuice earrings. We have never, or no. I do also have Never Trust a Living, but this one says myself as strange and unusual. And then we're gonna do if it'll go in my ear. My ears are gauged, so you think the earrings would go in there very easily. And then we got the little snake. So I don't know. Like Beetlejuice might be, it's a thing. It definitely is, probably, maybe, potentially, possibly a thing. Anyways, a lot of anxiety around this connection. This connection it feels new, or it's a rekindled relationship that on a level is new because it's not the same as it was before, but it's still like a relationship that already happened, if that makes sense. It's a level of a fresh start. That's really just what it is. It's a fresh start. So it may not even be a rekindling. Actually, maybe you're with this person already and it's simply a fresh start. A fresh start in romance. That's really the real energy that I'm getting with this. Specifically for you, right? Not even just like for you and this person, just like for you. This is a fresh start, a fresh opportunity for love right now. But it's overwhelming because you're thinking a lot about this connection specifically, and I'm hearing you are thinking a lot about the outcome. You're thinking a lot about how you want this connection to look, how you wish this connection was. Maybe you recognize areas where you're holding yourself back or where this overthinking is causing you to kind of like slow down. Maybe that's what these distractions are, these thoughts. Wait, I didn't even put that connection together. Yeah, okay, that's what these distractions are, these thoughts. And these thoughts are causing you to hold yourself back in a little bit. And like, I'm even getting nervous. Like I don't know if you notice, I keep like playing with my finger here. Like I'm getting nervous. And it's this overthinking that you're going through where you're stuck on the outcome of what if you don't do this right? What if you put yourself out there with this person and they end up hurting you? That's a huge thing that I'm picking up on. Like, what if I get hurt? What if I hurt them? That is the biggest thing that I'm hearing. Wow, okay. But through this thinking, despite how distracting it's been, you've still been receiving some level of clarity, and maybe holding you back on some level. But like I said, it's still steady. It may be slow, but it's still steady. And you've been experiencing a reality check lately on whether with this person, or past when it comes to your love and recent relationships, and you're starting to see more of the yin and yang in life, where some experiences that aren't fun or weren't the best for you to experience happened for you to know what you do want. It's that level of, if you know what you don't want, it's a lot easier to figure out what you do want, right? And that's kind of the energy that I'm getting for you, for this collective. You've been really working with an energy of recognizing the pains and the conflicts and maybe your own lack of stability when it comes to connections. No, that's not even like the correct, lack of stability, but I'm hearing like the roles that you played also in your past relationships, and maybe that's why I'm picking up energy on you don't want to hurt them. Yes, you don't want to be hurt, but you also don't want to hurt them. Oh, wait. I think I'm picking up on some energy as to why the Beetlejuice is significant. Beetlejuice may be significant when in terms of this connection, like either you or your person really love Beetlejuice. But I'm also getting energy that you on a level, this is a very like controversial type of level when it comes to the entire plot line of Beetlejuice in itself, because Lydia is a child. Um, and Beetlejuice is an adult that also passed on like hundreds of years ago. But there is the concepts of Beetlejuice wanting to marry Lydia and all of that stuff. And if we just take that, let's say Lydia is an adult running with that type of narrative, because there's multiple different versions of the Beetlejuice story. Not to nerd out here about Beetlejuice, but he's an old man, she's young, but he's also gross. Like, he's fucking disgusting, okay? And she's not. And I'm hearing like that's kind of some level where you almost like visualize yourself as Beetlejuice, and your person, this person that you are with or you want to be with, or like this connection is starting with, right? You see them as Lydia. Gorgeous, beautiful, strange and unusual, but still very drawn to her. Interesting. Or him, right? That we're not taking like genders in this. I don't read genders as a whole. You've been seeing more yin and yang of life. Okay, so I did pick up a message from spirits. To ease your anxiety, tap more into inspiration and serenity. Slow down. Don't let fear take over or self-doubt. Know that you deserve happiness and community. These fears are quite literally blocking your next step of success. They are. And these are fears that your soul needs to get over in general. These aren't things that you need to get over, like, quote unquote, for this relationship, right? You can't avoid these fears, not work on these fears. Let's say everything ended with this person, you never talked to them ever again, and this was the last night. You know, they texted you at the end of this reading, I'm never going to talk to you ever again. They block you on everything. You never see this person for the rest of your life. These lessons that are being presented for you, these fears are being presented for you to get over, these things that you are being called to work through right now are things that you need overall. It's not this person. It could be quite literally anybody in that person's position. It is these lessons, these fears are still going to be something for you to get over. So either you can get over it right now and, you know, find that success in this relationship, or find that success within your lesson and within where your soul is being pulled, or you can continue to stay stuck in these fears, stuck in this thinking, this overthinking cycle, not break that cycle, and inevitably wind back up in the exact same position you're in right now with this person, but with somebody else. That's quite literally the whole thing that I'm hearing for you right now. There is something very much worth celebrating for this connection. Maybe in terms outside of this connection, but I'm picking up very deep energy within this connection, but it's being blocked by these fears. Some of these fears very specifically are fear of betrayal, abandonment, abuse, or verbally or physically, which I will note, very reasonable fears to hold within a relationship, but they're rooted and triggered from past relationships. So spirits are wanting me to remind you, do not hold the intentions and motives of other people from your past on people of your future and your present, because they are not the same people. Allow these people of your present and your future to show you naturally who they actually are. They aren't those people. Those people are out of your life for a reason, and they're in your life now for a reason. So think about things like that. Certain levels like that, there's no coincidences happening here. This is all happening for a reason. You're being called to surrender to the knowing that all people are different. Quite literally, that is the huge, biggest thing that I'm picking up on for this connection, is you are being called to surrender. Not everybody is the same. You've gone through a level of pain. I'm picking up very heavy energy. You were abused in the past. You were cheated on. You'd been abandoned. You might have there was manipulation that you experienced, like heavily experienced in the past. But it wasn't like, I'm hearing it also wasn't even just happening to you. You've also played a role in being a bad lover towards others. Confirmation burp. And you've broken away from that version. You don't want to be that version anymore. And now you're kind of in this energy of, you know, you're capable of being that person, and you know you're capable of experiencing that person, and you don't want either. You want different. But spirit guides are using me as a vessel, as a messenger, to quite literally remind you that if you want different, you have to go experience and find different. You're not going to find different by continuously holding yourself back, letting these fears win. What is more important to you? This is what I'm being called to ask you. What is more important? Your growth or your fear? Which do you want to have more in life? And having confidence does not mean the fear is gone. Confidence means you're doing it despite these fears that exist and are inevitably going to exist because you're a human being. Your nervous system is working, babe. Think it. Think your nervous system, but still do it anyways. You don't have to listen to the nervous system. It's only coming up as like a hey little warning sign. A hey little warning sign. Right? You don't have to listen to it. There's only a couple things left here, and then we'll get into some tarot. Pay attention and notice these patterns. A couple times is a mistake, more than once is behavior. Not everyone new will have the same intentions of those from your past. The biggest thing, allow these new people, this new person, even if this is someone from your past, right? If you both have grown and you're now a different version, allow yourself to experience something that is not the past. If you continuously think about the past and start worrying about the past, well, guess what? You are putting that energy out there into the universe. The universe is going to respond. You know, if you go out and you start strictly looking for white Corollas, do you know how many white Corollas you're going to start seeing on the road because you're looking for it? If you start looking for the goodness, look for ways in which you can connect with this person. Look for ways in which you can build this connection. Have a stable foundation. Feel like you can trust this person and they can trust you. If you start focusing on those portions of the relationship instead of, oh, what if they're like this person from my past? What if I end up like this person from my past? What if they betray me? What if they end up verbally abusing me? What if they end up doing this? What if this, and this, and this? Well, now you're looking for it, okay? And now you're going to inevitably start creating this environment, subconsciously creating this environment to where this person may end up responding that way. I'm not saying like you victimize, I don't know how to explain this very well. I'm trying to find the words. Maybe that's what it is that you're being called to do, is sit down and like actually find the real words to use, not feed yourself into all of these anxieties and these fears. But if you start feeding yourself something long enough, your brain will eventually start to believe it. And that's really what you're being called to focus on. Yes, these people from your past were not the best. You experienced a lot of pain, but it's that inspiration and serenity that you're being called to step into. Where focus goes is where energy flows. I think that's kind of what I was getting into a little bit right there, was the more that you focus on it, the more it's going to start to present itself into your life. So the more you start to focus on these pains, and I'm speaking from experience too, unfortunately, I've been there myself, where so afraid of being hurt again that you start looking for patterns. And something literally, as I said on here, pay attention and notice patterns. A couple times is a mistake, more than a couple is behavior. That is a pattern of behavior. So you're being called to recognize this. Are these patterns you're recognizing, or are you simply being triggered because this one-time event is triggering you to a pattern that you experienced before? That's something that you're being called to work on. Does this person do it once and apologize and their behavior has changed? Apologies are not words. It's changed. What's the quote? Oh my gosh, I came up with the quote the other day. Hold on, I wrote it on my wall. I have a little whiteboard of a bunch of little quotes that I come up with because I love quotes. Apologies are not said through words, but changed behavior. Words are simply a plan of action. And then also, a person's potential is directly related to their willingness to grow. That's also something that I'm being called to read to you. Pay attention to that. I'm hearing that maybe you fell for other people's potentials in the past, And that's where you're stuck, is you don't want to fall for someone's potential again and inevitably end up getting hurt. Look at how they're showing up right now. Are they also willing to grow? Like I said, did they make that mistake once, apologize, and now their actions are different? Or did they apologize, say, oh, I'm sorry, and then now it's like the 6th time it's happening again? That's what you're being called to also pay attention to. You're being called to surrender to the knowing that all people are different. Okay, we're going to tap into tarot in part 2. I may even be able to leave the reading here, but I want to get confirmations with tarot, so I will catch you in part 2.